It seems like Cristiano Ronaldo is once again in the spotlight. He hit out on Instagram after the match saying that success happens when your dreams are bigger than excuses. And it seems like he's going to be leaving if they finish outside the top four. And I feel like there's so much to unpack here if that actually happens to Juventus. It almost feels like this would be one of the biggest failures from a team that I can remember seeing since I started watching football.
If Juventus do miss out on the top four with Ronaldo, then it's going to be a story that is edged into the club history, that this period of 9 titles came to an end with one of the greatest footballers ever to be brought on the roster. That's just how it is. You can't avoid that. And it is pretty damning that you have that player who is still performing to a high level. I think there's certainly been some criticism of his performances in recent weeks, and that's not missed, but he still scored 25 goals this season. And to miss out on the Champions League with Serie A's top scorer doing his bit, it's a terrible look. And as you said, we don't have anything explicit from the club or from Ronaldo, but it's nigh on impossible to me to imagine Ronaldo staying at Juventus to play in the Europa League. It would be a catastrophe for both parties, frankly, because Ronaldo he's going to turn 37 next season. It's a lost year of playing in the competition he wants to play in. And for Juventus, his wages are so onerous that carrying that for another season in the Europa League would be ridiculous. I can't see that scenario. I don't know that I believe he'll be there next season now, even if they're in the Champions League, honestly. The club has always said, we're not selling him. That's not our intention. But I just think the mood is so sour right now. Ronaldo is certainly not hiding his emotions on the pitch. And look, I think that picture is more complicated than we could sell it as. And we were just talking before this started. Mina was bringing it up. Like, everyone is so tired right now. Every footballer that you are watching playing in these top leagues has played basically 2 back-to-back seasons and is exhausted. And maybe with sort of an opportunity to take some distance, they'll feel differently. Although, of course, with the Euros coming right up, they're not going to get much room to sort of stop and breathe after this finishes. So I can easily imagine a scenario where he doesn't stay, even if they're in the top 4. But if they're out of the top 4, it's almost impossible for me to believe he'll still be there. I think if they are in, it's going to depend on what the decisions are made higher up than that. Is Pirlo still the manager? I think if Pirlo is, that's a hurdle at this point, frankly. I think if you want Ronaldo to be there next season, you need to convince him that the project is immediate as well as good, that it's something that he can win with right now. And that's going to depend a lot on who's in charge.
Yeah, I think you make some great points there, because firstly, like, has he won the Europa League? Wouldn't he want to win that? No, I'm joking. Obviously, if I'm Ronaldo, I'm out of there.
Yeah, Messi hasn't won the Europa League.
Yeah, exactly. That's something that he can say. And he can say, I did take them and I took them to the final. We won it. I mean, it's not the Champions League, but we won another final, you know.
Okay, but imagine they went out in the last 16.
And by the way, would you put it past them with Pirlo in charge? Okay, so I think this is my takeaway. Like, I've really defended the fact that I blame the club and not Andrea Pirlo. Having said all of these things in my defense of the coach, I think that if I'm Ronaldo right now, and considering the choices that Pirlo has been making recently, especially in this last match against Fiorentina, it's almost like, I'll be honest with you, I'm a novice, I'm a journalist, and I'm sitting down thinking, are you crazy? Like, what is this team? Like, what have you presented Fiorentina with? And if you guys remember with Fiorentina, the Cuadrado was sent off and he didn't make the right substitutions, and you thought, he's new. This is like, what, his 13th game, you know? But now I'm thinking to myself, like, this is just ridiculous. Like, you have 3 centre backs, you know, you have nobody carrying the ball forward. You have no one to fill the box at this stage. Dybala is always, you know, tracking back, and I don't know what Juventus has this obsession with buying forwards that love to track back, but to the extent where I'm not sure they're forwards anymore. Mandzukic was our best left back at the time. Dybala goes back all the way. You know, I mean, what's going on? Who's filling the box here? And, you know, there was nobody there. It's like, how could you not have started with Morata or a Raider or McKennie, Weston McKennie, somebody that will go in, you know? It was just stupid. I'm sorry, but it was stupid choices. And it was very difficult for me to sit there and be like, yeah, and, it's wrong for management to choose Andrea Pirlo. I'm thinking, come on, I'm sitting on a couch here and I feel like I could have done a better job. So I don't know what's going on. And frankly speaking, if Pirlo's in charge, I don't want to be watching Juventus, let alone Ronaldo wanting to play for this team, So I think that, look, all clubs, Inter will sit down and want to see whether they can continue with Antonio Conte, whether he's happy to do so, whether, they're happy to do so. I'm sure they'll be thrilled to do so. I think that a lot of teams will be sitting down with their coaches, with their staff, trying to figure out how they can cope, COVID times, how much money they have to spend on the team purely at Milan. And I think Juventus will do the same. You can talk to me as much as you like about Pirlo staying in this project that they're trying to create, but I'm really sorry the guy's out. It's just so clear. The question is who will replace him? Will there be a revolution? Will there be, Allegri coming back? Or will there be a new choice? So, and I also would like to know who in management will keep their position in management, considering the disaster that is the imbalance of this squad. So if I'm Ronaldo, I'm not going to make anything now. I'm going to concentrate on the Euros, and then I can decide, because I am Cristiano Ronaldo. I know I'll have offers. I might not get 30 million in wages, but there are other benefits to staying with Juventus, especially if they sell him a good project, if they've managed to keep top four. But I can afford to wait until June before I make a decision.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.